To another day in the matrix, waters above crypto. We just entered a very important week for cryptocurrency, the 45th week of the year. So in today's video, I'm going to start off by sharing a Gematria decode and some date numerology to break down what's happening in the charts and what we could expect over the next week for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow this community. And for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So tomorrow's date is the 9th of November, and the reason why this is such an important date is because it is the mirror of 9/11, and we all know how important that is. So with this 11/9/2021 date, tomorrow it will be the 313th day of the year, and that's a very important number because it comes back to the 65th prime number. So 313 is the 65th prime, and if you've been watching my work over the last couple of weeks, you would know that this 56 number has been showing up a lot, this 56 and 65 as above, so below. Of course, coming back to these guys, but also with BTC, the ticker symbol giving us that 56. So tomorrow being the 313th day, that would be the mirror, and also it will be 52 days left in the year. Again, coming back to BTC, the 25 mirror of 52. And there's a lot of other important connections for 52 as well, but just to save some time, this 65 connection that we're having tomorrow is absolutely significant, especially with the 11/9, the reverse of 9/11. So where do we get this 65 number in a couple places? Well, for one, this is the most important one. Enlightenment, illumination, all right? The 33rd degree, when ice turns to water. And we have this enlightenment giving us that 65. It's very powerful. And also another one that is extremely important is Ra, Isis, Osiris, giving us that 65. All right. This is the sun, and then we have the afterlife, and we have the moon. Okay. This is very, very important stuff, guys. You cannot skip over these basics, right? If you want to get better at decoding, you need to study your mythologies, and you need to study the ancient Egyptian and Sumerian. And once you can wrap your head around those, you're going to start to see how much more you excel in your decoding. So this connection is pretty big. And also with the 65, we've been seeing for most of today and yesterday night, Bitcoin kind of just trading around that $65,000 level. That's not by mistake. Okay. So tomorrow will also be 2 months and 2 days since Rosh Hashanah, the start of Shemitah. And of course, 2 and 2 is very powerful because this is the current Hebrew year of the year 5782, and 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 2 equals 22. Tomorrow will be 2 months and 2 days since, and this current Shemitah will go through the year, the Gregorian year of 2022. These 22s are very massive at this time. So another big important thing will be the 63 days between. So the 2 months and 2 days gives us 63. And in my last video, I went over the 36 and 63 at length. So if you're unaware of the connection and the power behind that number in particular, please go back and watch my last YouTube video. It was it fulfilled a lot of data and information in regards to what's going on with that number. So speaking of this 65 number, the date of 11/11 is very important because it will give us 65 days since Rosh Hashanah. And this 2 months and 4 days coming back to 24, 24 being the logo of the Jupiter zodiac, and the mirror of 24, of course, being 42, which comes back to Saturn. All right. So not to get too ahead of ourselves, this 11/11 date is obviously powerful because it's the 11/11. We all know that. We all know the power of 11/11, but it adds up to 22, just like we were discussing before with the Hebrew year of 5,782, giving us 22, and tomorrow being 2 months and 2 days since Rosh Hashanah. This 22, master builder, master destroyer number. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so this is another big connection to be made here in this 11/11 date, being 65 days since Rosh Hashanah. Again, tomorrow being the 313th day of the year, which is the 65th prime number. Okay, so this is all pretty fascinating how it's adding up, because we have that 63 in the date numerology, the way that I like to do it with the 11/11/2021. Again, coming back to that 63 that we were just talking about. And then also it's giving us the normal date numerology of 9, all right? The 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. And then you could see right there how it's broken down, and that comes back to BTC. Bitcoin, 9. And remember, this is November. Nov is 9. This is really the 9th month of the year, everyone. So tomorrow is actually the date numerology of 9/9, if you actually know what you're doing with this scam calendar that we're all spellcasted under. So this 99 comes back to Jupiter, all right? 9. And look at that. You have your 36, just like I was talking about before. And this 36, I mean, I'll just quickly show you. Bitcoin equals 36 in the same cipher. And then, of course, you have Ethereum equaling 36 in Chaldean. And I'll continue to break this down. So this is massive, tomorrow's date. Again, I'm not calling anything here. I'm just letting you know in the code. If something does happen, well, we have some reasons why. But the fact that Bitcoin is sort of struggling around the 66K level into the 65K, playing around in that area the most, it makes the most sense to me because of all these 65s that we're seeing in our code. This is all coded in algorithmically in advance, and that's why it's coming to fruition. So this is exactly why you'll see this being so powerful. So the following day of the 12th is going to be 66 days since Rosh Hashanah. We all know 66 is a very important number, powerful. And then following day, the 13th, will give us the 65 date numerology. Again, another 65. So this is a very important week, everyone. And look at that, 317. That gives us a new prime. Okay, that'll be the 66th prime number. So we have the day before that giving us the 66 days since Rosh Hashanah, and the transition day giving us 317 days into the year, which is the 66th prime. This whole week is so powerful. All right, so this is all pretty potent stuff. Another thing to consider is we're in the 45th week of the year, like I mentioned in the intro, and this 45 number is really important because it comes back to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin being that 45, anything that comes back to Bitcoin into cryptocurrency is powerful because Bitcoin is what runs this show. Bitcoin is the sun, or Helios. It is the energy that provides light to all of what's going on here in cryptocurrency land. So in this 45th week, we're seeing this all come into fruition through the charts itself. And another thing to consider is, remember, we're in Scorpio right now, and Scorpio is the scorpion, and scorpion gives us 45 and 44 and 46, but remember that 36, we're even getting it in scorpion, and it's telling you why Ethereum has been doing so good lately, all right, with that 36, because we're in Scorpio, and since Scorpio, Ethereum has been kicking ass. So Scorpion giving us that 44. We just left the 44th week of the year. We're currently sandwiched between these two numbers. So when we have the 46th week of the year, this is absolutely mind-blowing, everyone. This 46th week of the year, it's starting on the 15th of November. So let me show you something. On the 15th of November gives us 46 days left in the year. So starting the 46th week of the year in Scorpio with Scorpion 46, we have the 46 days left in the year. It doesn't get more insane than that. And of course, it's 69 days between Rosh Hashanah and that date, and that 69 is coming back to Saturn with 69. All right. And this day, I believe, is a Monday, correct? The 15th? Yes. So that will always come back to the moon, or Isis. All right. And Isis being that 56, again mirrored of 65, and also that 52. That's the bigger 52 to discuss, going back to that 25-52 connection earlier. But that moon is so powerful because it's giving us that 21, which is of course tied to Saturn with the 21, and also that 23. And where do we get that 23? Bitcoin. Where else do we get it? Uranus, the sky god, and then that 22. That 22 coming back to what we were discussing earlier. Like tomorrow will be 22 days between Rosh Hashanah. Or sorry, it'll be 2 months and 2 days, excuse me. So this is a massive connection, all right? How this date tomorrow being, on the 15th, giving us 46 days left in the year to start the 46th week. And in Scorpion, we have that 46. So I think that's going to be a big one. I think that week is going to be very important. And remember that 36. Well, what month are we in? November. 36. All right. Again, this is giving you a lot of understanding as to why Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing so well in the month of November. All right. And what is 3 6s? 666. All right. That's where it all comes back to, which is about carbon. Carbon is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. It is the matrix realm that we're all a part of. And cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is to bring in the quantum world, the world where we have a whole new system in the age of Aquarius. So I don't want to say too much about that, but let's move on to the analysis. So Bitcoin's actually woke up a little bit since I've started this video and since taking some notes. And let's just quickly run through it all. So we had our weekly close recently, the weekly close again above the 8 simple moving average, which I brought up in my last video, how we were not going to backtest that 8 simple for the rest of this bull run. And that's been true so far. All of our moving averages are in a bullish posture, and we're seeing the RSI on the weekly actually start to approach the 70 level, getting into overbought, but that's very low actually. This could go all the way into the 80s. So on the weekly close was actually at new highs, so bullish. Let's go to the 3-day because we do have a 3-day closure. Okay, the 3-day RSI, again, at 68, it's approaching into that overbought territory, but still that's extremely low. You could see that we did actually backtest the 8 simple moving average on the last 3-day, closed slightly above it, and since it's just been raging. So last night, ever since the weekly close, Bitcoin has been breaking out in a straight line as it entered the 45th week of the year, and the 45th week coming back to Bitcoin with that 45, right? So this doesn't surprise me, okay? It's all by the code. And having this many weeks of sideways action, 24 days, of course 24, we had 24 days sitting in this area. It doesn't shock me that we're seeing this sort of price action right now. Bitcoin's literally within a couple of percent of all-time highs. It could even happen during the video. So we just have to see how this all goes. But as for now, as long as a 3-day is above 63,300, that's closing a 3-day on new all-time highs as well. So let's look at the Bollinger Bands. Okay, so the Bollinger Bands are sitting all the way in the 70K level. I did bring up how it's typical in the month of November for us to catch up to stock to flow. And I think stock to flow at this time is somewhere around $80,000. So yeah, this is all making sense. But typically you'd want to see a macro candle closure above the topside Bollinger Band for continuation. And that would also be trading at new highs. So price discovery at this time plus a 3-day close above the topside Bollinger Band would be very indicative of continuation to the upside. And then that's when we'll see that 72,000 Bitcoin, and 72 makes so much sense because Bitcoin equals 72 in the English ordinal cipher, right? Also, another important thing to mention is yesterday was this date right here, 11/7, the 7th day of November, right? So that makes so much sense how when we transitioned out of this day, we just kept going up. So very interesting to see how this is all playing out. But for right now, all of the moving averages on the 3-day chart are looking very good. And the 3-day RSI is only at 68. Let's go to the 2-day chart because we actually have a 2-day closure tonight as well. So we have a 2-day and a 3-day. And you can see this bottom side Bollinger Band right here is looking to cross above the 55 simple. Once that happens, that's a very good sign. And I was very adamant last week about Bitcoin not going below 55K ever again. I've moved up that bar and I'm going to continue to move up that bar. And yep, so far we've been playing out to that. On the downside, though, we've been holding a very strong support around 60,000. Bitcoin doesn't look like it wants to go below 60K. So on the top side, we can see the top side Bollinger Band sitting around 69,000. 69,000 would not be weird to me just because of that connection to Saturn. So when is this Saturday? This Saturday is the 13th. Oh, okay. So that makes a lot of sense because we were just discussing before how that 13th date was pretty crucial. It's that transition out of the 66th prime. So it will be the 317th day on the 12th. And that's the day of Venus. So we're transitioning into that 13th day out of the 66th prime, moving into Saturn day. With that 69. And that would not be weird to see that 69K happen on Saturday. Now, I'm not saying it will happen. It would just be pretty interesting if that's the way it was all coded in. I mean, at this rate, Bitcoin could go to 69,000 tomorrow. What we see is the MACD crossed bullish. RSI is only at 66. I mean, this has so much room to go. And when you combine it with this cross right here of the bottom side Bollinger Band above that 55, it's game on. Also, you can see that these 200s are squeezing together, the 200 simple and the 200 exponential. Those are looking very good. At this time, I wouldn't even look at those or worry about them because the price action is telling us the story. The EMAs are all in good posture as well. We haven't closed a candle within the golden pocket since getting above it. That's very bullish. So let's move on. Oof. Okay. Well, we have a story here, guys. So we have the RSI only at 65. Again, remember this whole video is basically talking about the number 65, so that's not weird. And on top of that, we're about to get a bullish MACD cross probably within the next daily candle or so. And in combination, we can see that these Bollinger Bands got really tight. Let me turn off these drawings so we could just see a little bit clearer what I'm talking about. So you can see the Bollinger Band started to squeeze together and the volatility was ready for expansion. And that's where we've just gotten it today. I mean, that's pretty obvious too, because we're sitting at a $3,000 gain so far. And the stock market's only been open for an hour or so. And we're seeing that there's trading action above the topside Bollinger Band, which is currently at 65,589. So if we get today's daily close above that topside Bollinger Band, it's not me saying we can't get back into it because that happens, but let's just look at the price action from earlier in the year. Okay, so this is the November timeframe. You could see right here that we basically raged up all the way through November until around late November, and then we had this little V shape right here, which was giving us resistance at the topside Bollinger Band, right? And then it was until we got to December where we started resetting the energy, but we did have a little bit of a sideways moment right there. Okay, now we have a full moon coming in on the 19th, and that 19th date is also very important. But on top of that, we have an eclipse. So I am super interested to see if there's going to be any last minute shakeouts. I assumed if it's going to happen, it would have to happen sooner than later, just because of where we're at in the bull run. And let me show you the prior bull run just to give you some ideas of how November works. So this is the previous bull run right here. I'm going to zoom in and you can see we went up until the 8th of November. That's today, guys. And then we downtrend, okay, all the way until November 12th. And then the energy reset. All right. And I bet you this energy was resetting around the end of Scorpio, that 46th week of the year. And you could see it topped out in December. Okay. But we kept daily closes below the topside Bollinger Band as we were expanding in volatility. So this is a good sign that if we are repeating the 2017 bull run, which I do not believe we are, I think we're much closer to the 2013 bull run, but this would be a gift. Getting to see Bitcoin do something like this, which is a lot, by the way. That's a 30% pullback. I'm not saying that will happen, guys. I'm just showing you the charts from the past. So let's look back at the 13 bull run. 2013 bull run was pretty wild around this time. So you can see we kept going up through this whole time until we got to November 9th, which is a day difference between the 2017 bull run, and then we had a big pullback on the 10th, just random, okay? And that was 20%. Let me turn off all this extra stuff so I could be a little bit more accurate for you guys. Wow. I mean, from top to bottom on that candle alone was 22%. So, oof. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome, because this is both bull runs showing us that there was a plus 20% pullback on both bull runs around, like, within a day, within a 24-hour difference, and still charged through the full moon. So let me show you on the moon cycles. I'm going to turn off all this other stuff just to show you. And you could see that we had the full moon on the 17th transitioning into the 18th. This month we have it on the 19th. And I'm not entirely sure if this was an eclipse as well, but I believe it was. I believe it was 2 back-to-back eclipses, just like this year. That's why they're so similar, these bull runs. So anyways, this topping out on the 9th, even though on the last bull run that we had in 2017, it topped out on the 8th, it's still followed by a pullback. This pullback was very quick and short, 26% from top to bottom. The last year's one was 30%, and it took all the way until the 12th. So that's 2 bull runs to go look back on for possible pullbacks. And if I just go show you what that measurement would look like right now, assuming we did break into new all-time highs today, let's just say we got to 69. I'm making this up, by the way. This is possible, of course, because we're in the matrix. So let's just say tomorrow, for whatever reason, because of all the importance in the date of the 65th prime number, tomorrow, we have a 20%. Oh, that would shake people out so hard. I'm not saying this will happen, but fuck, that would really, really, really shake people out. Wow. I mean, it happened in 2 bull runs, though. If it happened from here and we only got like a 13% pullback, yeah, we're basically double bottoming from that previous structure. So I'm not saying this will happen, anyone, but we have 2 bull runs in the past. So get ready. If there is going to be a shakeout, it's going to happen soon, within the next 48 hours, most likely. And I would not put the 14th of November out of the cards, just because if we go back to here, we can see that 56-day, So 56 days from the lows of the full moon of September gives us the 16th, and then a 58-day cycle is giving us the 18th, which is the day before the 19th. So are pullbacks possible anytime between now and then? Of course. And I even exposed in my Red Pill episode yesterday that I did for the Mastermind community on Patreon, if we do move up into new highs, I still think that there's a possibility for a shakeout. And if we went 20% off of 72K, that's putting us pretty much back at the exact level lows of October 28th. That would just be a double bottom, and it would keep us above the golden pocket. So is it possible we actually break out to 72 and then downtrend into this 56, 57 level, or just have a flash crash candle like we had in 2013? Absolutely possible. Okay, because it's happened before. So, and there's way more leverage in this market now than there used to be. So this is the time to liquidate people, if any time. I'm not saying it will happen again. I'm being very careful, cautious about my words. You guys all know where I see this going. I see this going to $144,000 Bitcoin by early December. So any shakeouts we have in between then, it's a buying opportunity, right? So something to keep in mind, showing you the previous bull runs and how this is all looking. So upside targets, I would say 72 would make the most sense, just looking at Gematria, but ultimately it's the 1618 from a technical level, and I'm a technical analyst, so I got to give you that. So the 1618 would be the technical level, and the downside support would be the 888 fib, and then any closures below that, I'd probably expect a double bottom somewhere around the 28 of October lows. Let's just look at the moving averages really quickly. Okay, so let me turn those off because they're not important. Okay, so the 34 exponential moving average is sitting around 59,000. That could be a possibility. But again, we just have to see how this plays out. I think the next 48 hours are going to be very, very interesting. So I gave upside and downside targets for Bitcoin. Let's quickly just look at ETH because it's the same story. Mamma mia. Yeah, this thing is just raging. Okay. This parallel channel is a little janky, but it is good. You could see it's been holding the daily closes pretty well, sans one closure. And this would show us that we would probably run into resistance around 48,000. Any closures above that, I would anticipate probably moving up, but every single full moon has been bad for altcoins, including ETH. So every dip we get for ETH has been on these full moons. All right. So just be careful. This is shakeout time. This is the month of final shakeouts to get leverage traders out of the game. So this is something to consider, of course. Let me turn off the moon cycles and just look at how our weekly close was. So weekly close was insane. Again, it's that's the fourth straight weekly close on new all-time highs. You can't say anything. It's only 71 RSI. Remember, ETH is an altcoin. This shit can go to 90 RSI on the weekly. That's how crazy a bull run could end. All right, look at this 3-day chart closing today. Any closures above this 4,600, that's bullish engulfing. Again, continuation sign for sure. If I showed the Bollinger Bands, so we're below the top side Bollinger Band. Any closures above 4,800 would be indicative of continuation. That would also align with the top of our parallel channel. So this parallel channel is really solid. You guys should draw it on your charts if you're not used to using them. You can learn a lot more by using parallel channels than using trend lines. Okay, so let's look at what's going on here. Again, this topside Bollinger Band is just crawling up the top of this parallel channel. It's beautiful to see. So the 13 exponential is holding the bottom side of the parallel channel. They're like hugging this parallel channel perfectly. So that's pretty amazing to see how strong this 2-day chart is. Again, closures on the 2-day, which is tonight, above 4,600. That's a very strong sign as well. But this is shakeout territory, guys. Let's go to the daily. Same story. Topside Bollinger Band's giving us resistance at this level, and the bottom side Bollinger Band, the daily, has actually gotten above the 786 fib. So that's a very strong thing. That's telling me that 3,800 would be like the ultimate pullback territory, but we might not get it. So let's go back to the prior bull run, just like we did with Bitcoin, and I'm going to look at something really quickly. I'm going to turn off all this extra stuff and see what we're getting. So of course we only have one bull run with ETH. One alt season, I suppose, like noticeable end of a bull run. And this time right here was the November timeframe before the end in January. So you could see we topped out around October. We bowled out. This bull run has actually been stronger. Once we got to the 15th, 16th, 17th, we just went up into the end of the month, like in a straight line. So this is where we are right now, the 8th of November. That's what date we're on today. And you could see it got juice into the 9th and did have a pullback into the 10th, but it remained strong. So this is the second bull run for ETH, and we don't have any chart history to really look too deep into, but it's all good territory for accumulation because look at what comes next, right? $1,400, and I suspect we're going to hit 14,000 in this bull run as well. 14,000 minimum. That'd be an additional $10,000 move from here. So any pullbacks, again, it's just opportunity. Downside target would be the 1, which is around 4,400. Again, 44. It's a very powerful number. And then the ultimate downside level would be the 888 fib, around $4,100. That would be a gift. And that makes a lot of sense because you can see a big area of trading range right there, meaning the VPVR, it will fill out in that area. Okay, so you could see the VPVR is filling out around 3.6, but in actuality, it's probably closer to that 888 if we look into the more local. Yeah, it's pretty much gapping up each fib at a time. So that would be the level where I would suspect the 4,100 probably be as low as ETH ever gets again. And that would be a pullback of around 12, 13%. So that's not even that big of a deal. It's very strong at this time. And remember, it's because of that connection to Scorpio, and we're in Scorpio right now. So it's all about November with the 36 Chaldean, Scorpion with the 36 Chaldean, Ethereum with the 36 Chaldean. So the 36th week of the year was probably the best week to buy ETH, the 6th through the 12th. And let's look at where it was on the 12th. So yeah, it was pretty much sitting around this area right here. That through that full moon, that was all putting you at the $3,366 level, around that 618 of the golden pocket before it continued. Amazing. So downside targets were given. Upside targets would obviously be the 1618 outside of any closures above this topside resistance, which is the parallel channel, and also the daily topside Bollinger Band. Let's end this off on XRP, which is just starting to wake up. Again, I've given you guys all the price levels from this coin in the last week or so, and we're finally starting to see a little bit of recovery. So we did back test this area of the, let me turn off the VPVR because this is mucking things up. So we did get close to back testing that 382, but we traded on that shit for so long. It was about time that we broke out. Tonight might be our first daily close above the 0.5 fib in a while. So if we are going to get any pullbacks, I suspect it will hold structure. And what I mean by that is if I just drew a simple trend line from here to here, I don't think we'll be going lower than that wick ever again. We're probably going to hold this level, and that would be our final shakeout if we're even going to get one, guys. So it'd be something like this, and it's probably going to stay above $1. I don't know if XRP will go below $1 ever again. Maybe not even into the next bear market. It just depends how the liquidity shifts at the end of the bull run. And it also depends on how high XRP goes during this bull run. Of course, it's all relative to the price action. Now, until it gets above that 618, it's just sideways. I've said that in so many videos now, so we're just kind of like beating a dead horse. But we could look at some other things that are going on. Daily MACD is looking good. 2-day MACD has crossed bullish again. 3-day MACD, let's see where that is at. Sorry for the load time. It crossed bullish. So this is a long signal for sure. On any pullbacks, you're just pretty much just strengthening your position. But getting in on a coin at the very last minute before an alt season below the 0.5 fib, that's like... That's amazing, man. And anyone wanting lower than this, it's like they don't really know how this all works. I mean, if I was to take a trend line off those lows right there, this is probably giving me a more accurate level. Again, still around $1.05. That would be a gift. XRP has been very generous with us investors lately in the finality of a bull run. It's been generous in being suppressed. This is what a real investor wants. They want a suppressed coin to make entries in. They don't want to look at some garbage that's already at all-time highs and get this FOMO, right? Like, so XRP is really good to consider in the final moments of a bull run because it tends to be suppressed until the final moments of a bull run, meaning it gives you the longest amount of opportunity for some of the best results. And that's nice when you're getting into the game of investing. The only problematic part about XRP is it has a syringe top, meaning it just has a blow off that happens very fast. So you need to control your greed, essentially. And that's how you master this market in general. As an investor, when you manage your greed and you manage your fear, that's when you start to become a lot more sophisticated at your entries and exit points when it comes to your investments. So this is looking good. It's a very interesting structure too. Needless to say, this looks like a Wyckoff schematic that I've shared in my advanced trading course. So it's pretty beautiful to see how this is all coming to fruition. But this level right here, this 140 level is going to be a bitch because, of course, XRP is giving us that 14 and that 15. So $1.40, $1.50, that's really where we're going to struggle because that's the bottom of the golden pocket. Above that, you're going to be back testing prior yearly highs pretty quickly. And I mentioned that I suspect we will be reaching prior yearly highs, the high of April 13th, probably within Hanukkah. So that's the very late November into early December timeframe. That's when I see XRP getting up into price discovery for the year. Remember, the prior all-time high is at $3.30 from 2017. So we have a little bit to go here. But that's what XRP does. It stays suppressed until it just explodes. So we're still in that final accumulation for XRP, whilst we don't really have that generous of an ROI at this time with the Ethereum or Bitcoin entry. Of course, Bitcoin has less ROI potential, but that should be known here by now. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. This was packed full of information, so many things to say. I think the moral of this is that because we have such a powerful week by the numbers, it's important that we consider shakeouts, final shakeouts before the end. And typically the way shakeouts go, guys, is we see upside before we see a little bit of a push to the downside. So I'll show you, and then we'll wrap this video up right here. You can see we get upside and then it just big red candle. That's the way that it all works out. It likes to shake you out before pulling you down. This way the whales can liquidate you on both sides of things. And they get to liquidate you a third time, actually, because they get you to FOMO into the long, then they liquidate you on the down, then they get you again because you try shorting again, they liquidate you going up, and then essentially you just keep FOMOing in and just trying to catch a ladder that is being pulled away from you. And that's a very dangerous place to be. So that's why with my channel and what I do, I try to share the code with everyone ahead of time so they're aware of these dates and they could be expecting any big energy to happen in the market before it actually happens. So Anyways, yesterday I made my newest Red Pill episode number 32. We went over a bunch of altcoins, but predominantly went over like market philosophy in the final moments of a bull run. And you could get access to that by joining my Patreon Mastermind community membership, which you can visit patreon.com/watersabove. I also launched my own website. So anyone who wants to, check out my website, it is watersabovecrypto.com. We're getting legit around here. Enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.